actions.
Welcome, everybody. This is LPR. But first, let's talk about Dan Bongino real quick.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
That, everybody, is your second in charge at the FBI. No longer. We're going to talk about that, about Dan Bongino. What is going on? I'm actually concerned. I'm concerned for the safety and the well-being of Dave Smith. We're going to go over that. Dan Bongino is certifiable and out of his mind. We're going to talk about his old comments, his new comments. We are also going to recap some of the stuff from Minnesota. You guys think I'm crazy? I think you're crazy. Coming up. Stay tuned, everybody. Let's go.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise crazy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder, for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you! You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen. That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Ice, baby. We're going to talk about ice a little bit tonight. Welcome, everybody. Let me give you some personal insights here. First of all, we'll talk a little bit about Clint came on last week. You should go watch that. How we don't have more views on the year-end review, I don't know. But go down back and watch it. But he was given some input about this, which is, hey, your intro sucks. He didn't say it sucked to be the content, but he said it sucks for getting engagement. We're doing a live show here, people. And then what I'm going to do is from the live show, I'll go back and I'll just cut that intro out. We'll get right to it, people. We'll get right to it, maybe. Tyler Yonke, LPR, coming to you. 0 people in the chat right now. Come on, let's see where we're at. Let me actually go to X over here and make sure. Are we live on X? We're live on X. Let's get the broadcast going, yo, everybody. I'm going to grab this copy of it here, and I'm going to put it in one of the show links here of, let's go to Dangerous Retards. And there you go. We're live, y'all. We're live, y'alls. Okay. So I wanted to talk, I think the first thing we need to actually discuss is, I put out a tweet about this. It is, and we'll mesh everything together here, which is the big tent of the GOP. And you're starting out with the tent of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's tent, he was shot in this tent. And I made, Candace Owens brought this up on her show this week, and she kind of made like, what the fuck is going on with you having this like tent where he was shot and you're having, hey, the tough selfies. I made fun of this. I put a tweet out about like, hey, I said, breaking news, next year, AmFest, they're going to have the car that JFK was shot in, and you can go, da, da, da. And then people are making the same jokes like weeks later with Candace. It's an obvious one, but, and then people were trying to defend it. This guy wasn't defending it. He said, why would TPUSA allow a photo booth tent? One that looks like the one where Charlie Kirk was murdered at AmFest, so that people can stand under it and be photographed. What is wrong with these people? Have they no decency, Miss Erica Kirk? Disgusting. It was disgusting. It is disgusting. I don't understand, except for you have to put your mind, and let's go back several years. Put your mind into where the GOP and its whole force is, and Good evening, Eddie Grimm. Good evening, boys. Evening, Tyler. Thank you. With the GOP and the Daily Wire, which pushes a lot of this slop that we see, and Candace really went after the GOP here. And I, you know what? I'm going to find because I didn't have it on the show notes here, but I need to find the one with Tactical Practical and his tweet about Candace Owens, because this is exactly the kind of shit I'm talking about, which is fine, go after her for all the reasons you want to, but why do you have to lie about stuff? And now I'm not finding it here. It is, it's one of the most interesting tweets I've ever seen. Okay, sorry, y'all. Maybe I can find. I have a bunch of bookmarks in here set for tonight, so I'm already down. Oh, here we go. So this is, and look, as an attorney, and we're going to go over some things tonight here. And I find stuff like this super, super interesting because maybe it's me. Maybe it's my life of working in this industry, being an attorney, breaking things down, getting evidence, how it is perceived by other people. And, maybe I'm on the lucky side, which is I don't have to, when I go into court, for me personally, I don't have to deal with a jury. I deal with a judge on the bench. And you've got to convince them, but you've got to do some other convincing. So this, to me, blew me away. So this is, what is his name? Gary Melton. And, gun guy. Look, you know it because he's got guns on the wall behind him, right? You wouldn't know. Now, me, let's take a look at here. I've got an ammo box right here, people. That means I'm serious. Plus, there's an American flag right there. And there's a con law book. There's a rise and fall of the Soviet Union. You know I am serious about those kind of things because I've got them in my background. I wouldn't be showing these unless I was an expert in those areas. Okay, let's go. Gary Melton here just eviscerates Candace Owens. Once again, I'm not your Candace Owens stan, but I'm just playing here because this is the kind of, this is the level what we're at here. It blows me away. This is the level we're at here. Now, I see Jose, let me get back here. By the way, I'm gonna blow you up a little bit here, Jose. Jose and I had a phone call today. Let's do this. Yeah. Jose and I broke the hymen of the debate of the issue between us. We're good to go. We had a phone call today. Love you, Jose. I've always loved you, Jose. Even when I went off and I was a little bit girly and emotional, it's good to have you back in good standing. We'll get together. We're going to do a show. And I know he's not necessarily a fan of Candace Owens. He and Austin have taken her on plenty of times. That's not even my concern. This is the problem. And this is what I do love about her. And I've always said this about Jose for the most part, which is doing your homework. And I don't like when people do this kind of stuff. Let's just play this here.
Candace Owens podcast. Apparently she's going to be letting the world know what Tyler Robinson was doing after he allegedly murdered Charlie Kirk. Well, that's great, but she's at least known since September 17th. A bit of information that she was given by a very trusted source, and she never shared it with anybody. Let's take a look at this clip.
I have a source.
Words matter. We're going to talk about that. Words matter. Words matter with experts. Words matter with attorneys. Words matter when you're breaking people down and you're saying some things. We're podcasters here. And at some point you can actually make mistakes, ignore stuff. But he just said, let's go back here. He just said, let's listen to the last thing he said here.
And she never shared it with anybody.
Never shared it with anybody. Okay. What does that mean to you? It means that she had some knowledge and she never shared it, which means she never put it out on any platform. She never mentioned it. She never posted it. She never had a graphic of it. Graphic.
Let's take a look at this clip.
I have a source.
September 17, 2025, Candace Owens podcast.
And everything the source has told me that has happened when we were lied to publicly has proven to be correct. So I am very inclined to believe this source on a couple of other things. And when I speak also to Lance's family, they are confirming what this source is telling me. And then we are told, as my source initially told me, that it was the mother who recognized Tyler, and she phones him up. Tyler says, "Mom, I'm sick." She doesn't believe it. She loops in Dad, okay?
Okay, let's go back here because she puts up on the screen some words, and you may not be able to read them. So she puts up a timeline, and she's like, 9:48 a.m., FBI Salt Lake released static images of 10:30 to 7 p.m., and she has 3 bullet points. 1, mother recognizes Tyler and calls him. Tyler tells her he is sick yesterday. She doesn't believe it. Loops in Dad. Dad texts and calls Tyler. Tyler messages Lance and says he's not answering his father. Where is Tyler Robinson at this moment? That's what she said. Bullet point number 2. This is large on her screen. I'm able to read it right now. Okay, September 17, 2025, what Gary Melton says she never told anybody about. Dad says, according to the indictment, he picked up the phone and told Tyler he was suicidal. Quote, our source asserts that it was he went to buy a new gun, unquote. Oddly, his message does not betray that as his lover and roommate. Okay, so basically Tyler's going to buy a new gun. She posts that in there as a thing. Number 2, Tyler it's hard for me to read the way this is here. Resumes messaging Lance and instructs him to delete the messages, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Says, "Mom, I'm sick." She doesn't believe it. She loops in Dad, okay?
So right there, it's worth mentioning that her source back on September 17th, a very reliable source.
Okay, let's stop here because Jose says need to include Candace saying Tyler in the intro. It's in the intro. Do not make me play this intro again. You're going to make me do it? Let's go.
Right.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? That says Tyler is amazing. I think it's in the intro. It's in the intro. Okay, let's go back to Gary Melton here before. This is an episode where you guys are going to absolutely eviscerate me and hate me. Look, here, let me talk to you about this. My wife and I, we've decided we're going to not be drinking. So all week long, she hasn't been drinking. She drinks Chardonnay. She's a white wine person. She drinks a lot of it. All week long, she's been off perfectly. And there's some weird stuff where she's like blaming the cat about sneezing and stuff in bed. She hasn't done that at all this week. So I'm wondering if it's like some sort of histamines from the wine. So I haven't been drinking beer. But tonight we went out, had some drinks, multiple drinks. I have another one here. I'm feeling it. Okay, let's keep going.
Confirmed that it was the mother that identified Tyler Robinson, and what ultimately led to Tyler Robinson turning himself in with the help of, the law enforcement neighbor. But the question is, what was Tyler doing between the time that he allegedly murdered Charlie Kirk and the time that he turned himself in? Well, let's take a look at this document and this tidbit of information that was provided to her by her trusted source that she never shared with anybody.
I'm so confused. She never shared with anybody, but he's playing her podcast to show proof of that she had this. This is mental. This is where my mind literally explodes, and I'm like, am I drunk? I'm going to tie this in with the Dan Bongino. You can't be this dumb. I'm sorry, people. If you're buying this and you're like, yeah, I'm a Gary Melton stan. He's showing proof that Candace never told anybody by showing the video of Candace showing everybody, and you're going to defend him. You are probably going to be defending Dan Bongino because he is doing exactly the same kind of bullshit, maybe even worse.
That is quite frankly a bombshell.
How is that a bombshell when she posted it?
I want you to look right here in her own document. So there it is. Our source asserts that he went to buy a new gun. So Tyler Robinson, after he allegedly killed Charlie Kirk, in an effort to cover up his crimes, or at least hide it from his father, he went shopping for a replacement rifle. That's what he did.
Okay, Gary, because I'm playing word games here all night long. We're going to be lawyerly as much as we need to. Did she say he went to buy a new rifle? I know that's the assertion, which is I'm going to buy a gun that's going to replace it for Grandpa. I'm going to get a new Mauser. But there was nothing in there that said rifle. It just said gun. So we don't know. This is just hearsay upon hearsay. So I'm playing word games because I'm holding you to account.
That
you
is
bearded
a
fuck.
bombshell of information. And Candace Owens had that information from a reliable, trusted source, and she never shared it with you.
Well, she didn't, except for she did, right? Let's take a look right here. And right there, where you're showing that she actually, that your source is Candace.
Or at least hide it from his father. He went shopping for a replacement rifle. That's what he did. And that is a bombshell of information. And Candace Owens had that information from a reliable, trusted source, and she never shared it with you. She glanced over that bit of information, never shared it with
glanced over it, okay.
her audience, not once in that episode. And why do you think that is? I think we all know the reason, and that is because with Candace, this has not been an investigation. It's been about pushing a narrative over the truth every single time. So there you go. Just another one added to the long list of lies that Candace Owens continues to spread, and the fact that she intentionally omits information so that she can push certain narratives, because it's always narrative over truth. Folks, you gotta wake up. The evidence that she's lying is right there in front of your face. And she's not gonna stop until people start calling her out. And you gotta see what she's doing. She is destroying everything that Charlie Kirk stood for, everything that he built, his legacy, attacking his family. And this is much bigger than people realize. This is a political movement ultimately to stop and destroy the MAGA movement, Donald Trump himself, and there are a lot bigger players involved than you realize. So wake up to what's going on, pay attention, and we're gonna be right here fighting the lies with the...
Okay, I can't have the bearded fuck anymore. You can do what you want. The problem is when he's saying all this stuff, one, I don't fucking care. I've said this before, and maybe this is where Jose and I are complete alignment, but it's also where I think some of you maybe misunderstand, which I don't give a fuck about TPUSA. Oh, but they got Trump into office. Okay, did they? I don't know. Maybe. Good. So what did that get us? What did that get us? It got us Gary Melton, who's sucking the tit of Israel. That's all that is. She's directing a narrative. There is so much you can... I watched Candace this week, and I'm because I have to watch. It's a soap opera. It goes back to my... You may be too young for this, but it's Luke and Laura, General Hospital. I watched it as a kid with my mom and my sisters, coming home, watching it 2 p.m. On every afternoon where I was at. It was must-see TV. This is a soap opera. I get it. And I'm watching stuff that she's saying on a daily basis, and some of it I'm like, no. I can't believe you're making accusations like that. And the next thing I'm like, okay, that's really interesting. Let's at least dive into it. But the stuff that they're pushing back on, I've said this from day one. The stuff this motherfucker right here is pushing back on, it's just lame. Fine. You literally found something that she posted, and that's your thing, and it's a narrative, because I'm sorry, this guy, it's Israel. Now, you can make mistakes. You can go from there. And you can, the question is, when you make mistakes, I've been divorced, okay? And I went to church last week. The pastor was talking about marriage, okay? He was talking about Jacob, okay? Jacob and Esau. Jacob with wife Leah and Rachel, and all the stuff that's going on with this. And he's talking about marriage, and he brings up the statistics of marriage, and he talks about how marriages break down over 50% into divorce. And then he says even Christian marriages like that end divorce. And I'm like, it bothers me, because the statistics are a little bit wrong, okay? The statistics actually go like this. If you are married, the likelihood of you ever getting divorced, the people stay married, is actually around the 70%. It's like 69%. It's the people that get divorced over and over and over again, and those people get put into the pot of the overall statistics. So the likelihood of a second marriage ending in divorce is pretty high. My point on all this is making amends or learning from your mistakes. If you're not learning from your mistakes, you're going to continue those. That's why we see those same people continually getting married and divorced. It's her fault. It's his fault. and pointing the finger like that, and then it just happens over and over. You've got to make a decision in your life and saying, look, I fucked up, okay? Or, okay, fine, it's 99% her fault, but what was the 1% that was my fault? And what can I do to make sure that that doesn't happen again, okay? Owning your mistakes. This motherfucker here is never gonna own his. He's, look at this. I don't know why this bothers me so much. Let's undo another button. Let's have a strong red beard. All this stuff, it just projects like, look, the guns in the background. It's all a projection, people. It's all a projection. And if you're not living your life, or if you can't, glom onto some sort of substance, this is what's going to be of it, okay? This is Dan Bongino in a nutshell, so to speak. Now, we're going to go on from there. We're going to go on from there just a little bit. And I thought this was also an interesting little clip here. I got a few clips here. Let's see if I can find, oh my goodness, where did it go? Okay, hang on. Why does this happen? I think I blame the bookmark issue with Twitter. Okay, hang on. I'm getting there. It's interesting because I have all these bookmarks, and I'm going through it, and I'm like, some of these don't actually correlate to what I had saved. So it's okay. I don't think I can actually have it. Okay, let's go to this anyway. This is Adam Sosnick talking here, because this is an interesting little dialogue here.
Give one counter argument, and then you can go. Can I give one?
No.
Can I give one, Rob Schneider?
No, Adam, you
can I give one?
I'm going to jump in. I'm a guest. So let me speak.
You are the guest.
So let me speak. Okay, I know because what you have is you've already made your conclusions, and you're not listening to any evidence, and that's ignorant.
You haven't.
No, that is absolutely
shred of evidence. Other than you're friends with Tucker.
I am friends with Tucker, but I'm also, that has nothing to do with it. I'm also a logical, rational person, and you are not being logical and rational.
Rob, I want to hear your thoughts.
You wouldn't make a straw man argument, which you have.
Thoughts.
The thought is simply this, Adam. You have to look at the totality of what somebody's contribution as a journalist. And yes, I would have asked different questions. And PBD, you absolutely would have been able to ask more pertinent questions that I think would have been helpful in that conversation. And I was just...
Let's not give PBD any credit. Okay, he interviewed Netanyahu.
Disappointed, but you have to look at the totality of Tucker Carlson, that he has made I would say the United States and the world a freer place because of his journalism. Is it perfect? Is anybody's perfect? And I think, like, in that particular situation, it wasn't. And I would say corrupt in the sense of as something was underneath of it that wasn't as good as it could be, just like a corrupt if you're making a building and then the beams aren't right, there's something wrong in that conversation. Well, whatever. The totality of Tucker Carlson is undeniably that he's made journalism a better place. Is it perfect? No. But is it proof that he's being used by the somebody on the team of the ignorant team of Khomeini's internet group? Is that proof of anything? Absolutely not,
Give
Adam.
you a rebuttal,
I will say that.
So I want to put a next story.
The problem is you just walked into my trap.
Oh, here it comes.
Because here it is.
Here we go.
Who did you just...
As someone who's watched enough of Adam clips in duration and like extended ones, there's no mental trap. This guy, this is a perfect place to pause too. There's no trap this guy has set for anybody, right? Except for some sort of like gay honey trap, maybe.
Call out in an amazing, incredible way at Turning Point USA. What was her name? Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Now, the totality of her contribution to society has been incredible.
I don't think so.
However,
the
last year or two, she's been a destructive force. And that's exactly what Tucker Carlson has done. I'm not talking about
give me the
what he said
totality.
during 9/11. I'm not saying what he said during COVID. I'm saying in the last year, Tucker Carlson, much like Candace, has taken a weird turn where you become anti-American, anti-truth, and anti-normal American thoughts.
All right.
So,
now those
so
are.
if you're going to call out Candace, how do you not feel like calling out Tucker?
Because
they're doing the exact same thing.
The
Show me the difference between Tucker and Candace
in the last
four
accusations. The last four accusations that you made in a row after making a decent argument about saying that it's shifted. Yes, there are shifts is happening, but you can't jump to a conclusion that he's anti-American. I think what you have...
I didn't say that he's anti-American.
You did! You just said, let's go back and listen to it.
Weird turn where you become anti-American, anti-truth.
I mean, literally, he's so stupid. But that is a very telling clip. I appreciate let's go to here. Let's give some credit here to charging Red Pill Sayon. I don't know. It's probably some anti-Israel thing, much like me, for that clip. But it's important to understand that clip because we are getting into the realm of situations right now where people, the name calling is very important to understand. And that's what happens with, once again, I say this to him, blue in the face and the balls. Okay. You can take on so much of Candace that you want to. Who has done a very good job of this is our buddy Austin, who does Already Dead with No Way Jose. He's taken her on, doesn't like her. I get it, but he takes her on like credible issues, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm having a tough time. I get it where you're at with that. I get it with you're at. Because he doesn't take her on, but simply that she's anti-American because she doesn't shill for Israel. It is the most crazy thing. I watched today Megyn Kelly on with Tucker Carlson. Remember Megyn Kelly, she has been pro-Israel, and she still talks about being pro-Israel, but she is not pro-Israel. And the reason she is not is because these people that had once supported her are taking her on so vociferously that it's hard for her to like understand, like, wait, let's just think about it. If you're getting attacked, completely being called names over your support of another country just because you think it's maybe in America's best interest, at some point you're going to start reevaluating it, and you're just going to start going, what's the point? I mean, I'm gonna go to the death perhaps for my country, America, but not for some Israeli, Qatar, Israel, Senegal. I don't know. You're not going to do it. You are not going to do it unless you are bought and paid for, as Adam Sosnick is. Okay? And that's just all there is to it. Now, it makes you wonder when you get other things like this.
Are you gay? Were you gay? Like, what is gay?
Nobody's gay.
Okay, so that's not actually the one I want. This is the one I want. Is that a what? Is that what I want? I don't know. How about this one?
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
That is so gay. That is the worst thing we've ever had. Okay, let's go to the chat here. Gary is my favorite source for nipple armor NDAs. Okay, I don't know what that means. Bad beams. Here we go. Normal, self-censored. I really just get sick of hearing about Candace. Like I have to have an opinion on her. I guess I sympathize with Megyn Kelly not wanting to denounce her just to please the Israel shills. Oh my God. Hi, Tyler. Oh my God. King of the Druids. Yes. Let's go to Fat Patrick's comment because I think that's a really good comment, actually. You don't have to defend anybody. Nobody. And a matter of fact, I guess I've defended Candace on multiple occasions. I've done shows on it. But it's simply from people like Adam Sosnick. I mean, Adam was actually one of them. Matter of fact, it was Adam going on with Eric Bolling, where he went on the Patrick McDavid show. And it is so disgusting, the stuff they said. You almost have to defend it. But really all you're doing is pushing back on these people. Like if this clip didn't end here, and I don't know what Rob Schneider actually said to him, like, what do you mean by anti-American? What is your proof that he's anti-American? Is it because he's anti-Israel? I mean, that is bizarre. I don't know. You can dislike Tucker for many reasons. MTG, all kinds of Trump. What is the anti-American that you would have to point out to? Okay, I could point out some Trump stuff, which is his snuggling up with Adelson, right? Going over to Israel and doing all this. But you're pointing out connections to other countries that they feel that there's issues that are more important, okay? That's what you're talking about. So, when you don't have to defend Candace, I don't think you have to defend Candace. And, but all you have to do is defend people telling the truth. That's what what's more important here to us. And I actually believe that we're going to talk about some of that tonight. Here you go. Let's talk about this. How about, actor native of California, Lorenzo Lamas. By the way, I just went through his TV show, Renegade. I watched the whole series. It's got big titties. It's everything you want. But here you go.
How important is it for you, for people who live here, that the leaders own up to the mistakes so we can correct them, move on, get people back, get things on the right?
Yeah, I don't want anybody owning up to anything. I want change.
Right.
And I'm not moving, right? A lot of my friends have moved out of state. I'm staying right here in California, and I'm supporting people that are going to make that change. You can't choose the same party and expect a different result.
Yeah.
Okay, good for him. I appreciate that. That's Lexi Lamas. Gotta love that. Lorenzo Lamas. Renegade was the TV show. It's ridiculous, but I watched the whole thing. It's fun times. Interesting part. Season 2, his wife is actually a part of this. Okay, he's like a bounty hunter on the run. And his wife, his actual wife in real life, plays a part on there. They get divorced in season 1. By season 3, it's not working out because he keeps having these buxom babes in there. She leaves the show. Interesting part. Okay, let's talk about this ICE shooting before we're going to get to the Dan Bongino. Trust me, we're going to get to all the Dan Bongino stuff, but we're going to play some extra video. And what I would just say before we get to this video stuff here about the shooting in Minnesota is I've gone through it. Now they've released video of the shooter's video. I pushed back to someone in the comments that said it's body cam footage. It is not body cam footage. This guy's holding a cell phone. We've got to talk about that. My point in bringing all this up is I am not confirmed that this guy is out of the woods. I don't know that it was a clean shooting. Jose thinks it's a murder. Murder is the unlawful killing of a human being with malice aforethought. There's no malice aforethought. I don't think he went into this deciding I'm going to shoot someone. So at the best, you got some sort of negligent homicide. Okay, it's an unintentional killing. Okay, it might be justified. We're gonna have to work our way through that. But I do believe in Minnesota, I think this guy's going to be charged. And I don't think it's an open and shut case like Kyle Seraphin says. If you'd done training, you would know you put 3 slugs into him and you walk away. And it's like, okay, she didn't have an AK. She's smiling. She's at the door. This guy walked around. Okay, he talks to her and he says some words to her. This is all going to come into play. My point on this is I'm kind of in the middle, which is 1, I think she's a piece of shit. 2, I think he's a piece of shit. And he may get what's coming to him due to that. So let's watch some of these videos real quick, and you guys can light me up all you want. But what you need to do is, first of all, Hasbara Lyrian Sko, sweet name, by the way, says Jewish stuff is good. The Charlie stuff started good, but Egypt, Frank, Trans, and Fort Hatuka seems off somehow. I'm with you there. I'm with you a little bit. I do think that her French trans stuff is actually on point. If you watch that whole series, it's to me more convincing than some of her other stuff. And I know that she's just throwing shit out there and seeing what sticks, okay? The charges will be removed to federal court and dismissed. Good point, Hubbleson. I made that the other day. It reminds me of Lon Haruchi, the federal, I don't remember what department he was with, but the sniper that shot up in Washington, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, killed his wife and son. That issue, actually, they filed charges against him, and it was moved to federal court and dismissed as well. Could very well be. Now, that was actually exactly what I said in our our show the other day. But I think that the state will actually file charges against him. Whether they get anywhere, I don't know. Just remember, you guys can get mad at me all you want. I think when I watch Chauvin put the knee on George Floyd initially, I'm like, this is not good. We can all come together, kumbaya. We can say police bad, some things. The problem is there was some fentanyl involved and some other things. He was convicted in Minnesota, okay? This is where we currently are as well. I saw a law tuber say the driver's wife could be charged. She yells, drive. I don't think so. You're going to have a hard time with that, getting the wife involved. She can yell anything she wants. The police can yell all kinds of stuff, which they did. They both acted like bitches. The lesser bitch won. Could be. Bridget is not only a man, but Emmanuel's father. And look, let's get to this real quick. I've broken down the lawsuit against Candace Owens. My read on it is there's no defamation claiming that or stating defamation that Candace claimed she was a man. It's that Candace claims she stole a man's identity. Read this carefully. She stole a man's identity, okay? Not that she is a man. Think about it. Okay, so there is some weirdness there. I saw a clip of a cop explaining lethal force isn't justified by a vehicle fleeing, that they are trained to not act the way he did. Yes, we talked about this the other day. Watch my last episode. If you're new to this one, Fatrick 9001. I'd like to meet the 9,000 people in front of you, Fatrick. However, I talked about this and I broke this down where I could see the guy's legs on the side of the car getting hit from the side. Okay, so now let's play this because I want a full stretch. Hubbleson came after me. Jim Magoo came after me. Perfectly fine. What's odd here is I'm actually taking the middle ground. I'm trying to explain to people that this is, on a legal sense, it's not cut and dry. What's the most fascinating thing is the guy that shot was recording with a cell phone. It's not body cam. We'll get to that as well. You're holding the fucking cell phone and you want me to believe that you're in the moment and you're shooting someone and you're holding a cell phone. That is problematic. And of course I would bring that up in court. My point on all this is it's not cut and dry. Each side thinking it's cut and dry. This guy with the cell phone posts his video up, and I'm scrolling through it on Twitter, on X, and it's like first post confirmed. This shows that he was justified. Next one confirmed. This shows that he was in the wrong, and it's like okay. I mean, it's over and over.
Security video shows a driver taking off during a traffic stop, dragging a deportation officer with him. New at 10, WCCO's Uba Ali walks us through this video and the political firestorm behind it.
Okay, I only play that because people are talking about getting dragged, and this is the guy that got dragged, and now he's in this situation. And I talked about this before. I don't think that is a good thing as far as like, if he's been dragged by a car and he's been pulled along, then maybe he is going to be too sensitive to this situation. And other people are like, it's proof why he should do it. Okay, let's go to the cop shooting here. We have exclusive video. Let's go here.
I'm gonna floor it. Watch out. Move.
Careful, Austin. Watch out. Watch out.
Okay, obviously that's Austin Powers, but I thought that was humorous, and if you can't laugh at it, go fuck yourself. So that's pretty funny. Okay, let's go. This is the actual cop's video. We're gonna get to it right here because this is him filming and I mentioned this. I had a call with Jose this morning, and I said, I'm seeing people. If you look at the video of this shooting, I'm pretty sure this guy has a cell phone. And someone said no, he didn't. But actually, let's go to see if we can find the original. And I have it in another spot. We'll get to it at some point here. So let's just take this one on. This is the actual quote unquote body cam footage. So he walks around the front of the car. Okay, she says some sort of thing, but he's okay. But right here, I had a thing with someone online, and they said it definitely was body cam footage. I hope they're I hope they're watching this, because you can see in the reflection he's holding up a cell phone. He has a cell phone. It's not body cam. And I don't get, look, you have kids, you yourself, and you think, oh, I'm in control when I have you're having a cell phone and you're shooting someone. This is problematic in general, which is you're holding a phone and you're trying to control the situation. Why are you videoing someone with your cell phone? I'm glad you did, because it's all good for this, but I would not be bringing this up as some sort of like gotcha if I'm the defense or the prosecution in this case, or in a civil case where I'm a wrongful death. I would be bringing up the fact that, are you trained to be holding a cell phone and be concerned about this situation? Plus, you're walking around the car. Let's keep going here. He walks around the back. He just spoke to the person. Did that look like someone? Because this is what we'd be asking him, and I would have him on the stand in civil. I'm thinking about some sort of civil situation where he has no choice to be but to be on the stand, and I would be asking him, your interaction with her, did she look like she was someone who was looking to, drive you over or to pursue and run you down? That she had anger in her mind? No, because she's not. She's a stupid lesbian. Let's be honest here. I also want to point out, when I watched this the first time, I'm like, there was a claim that she had, been dropping off her son. She's obviously here to cause problems. I want that to be clear. She's causing problems. As a matter of fact, watch this next part.
Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you...
That is her quote unquote wife. Why is she out? I mentioned that at the first time when I watched this. Why is she out of the car? What the fuck are these two people doing here? Now, I could be on two hands. I could say, one, I don't think that this is a good shooting, and two, fuck around and find out. Okay, because sometimes shit happens to you that it shouldn't happen to you, but why did you put yourself in this situation? I'm completely fine saying this, and I watch this video and I get context from all sides, and I come away with, and we'll find out.
Come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking...
He's just walked around the car. Remember, this is someone who had previously been dragged by a car. He feels perfectly fine walking 360 around a car.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
Yeah, well, he is a fat fuck. Let's be honest.
Out of the car.
But so is she. Look at this. Why is she... Dan Bongino, I think it was him, and just put a picture... no, it was Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin was mocking someone, and he put their picture up, and was mocking them. Like, I've said this over and over. I think people, when you do that online, you're ridiculous. None of us are. I mean, let's get a full view here. This is me. I've got flaws. This is me. I've got flaws. I'm not posting online mocking people's looks. But she just mocked the guy who is fat. Let's be honest here. He's not. I don't understand why you don't have, some sort of standards being in the ice. Why can't you be fit? Why do you have to be such a fat fuck like this guy is? He gets hit by a car and it does nothing to him, right? Why? Because he's fat. But so is she. She's this lesbian idiot here.
Get out of the fucking car.
Get out of the fucking car. That's, you can hear the other ICE agent saying that. Now she pulls out. This is important here, okay? And I know everyone's freaks out. He walks around. She's definitely turning. She's trying to pull away. There's nothing in this lady's mind. I could see from here. She doesn't really notice him.
Get out of the car.
She is trying to pull away. I'm sorry. And then there he goes. Listen. Stupid bitch. That might be something he regrets saying at some point. Okay, let's see who was. She's still not mad at him. You didn't even think he got hit yesterday. This is video clearly show. Motherfucker, Hubbleson, you want to keep going over this kind of stuff? This is ridiculous. When you say getting hit, you have to think about this in terms of why would he shoot her other than she is trying to run him down? Is she trying to run him down in this picture? Why is this motherfucker first walking 360 around the car, filming, thinking that something can happen, and then there's nothing in this that she is trying to run him down? I'm sorry, trying to run him down? Let's just watch. It's stupid horror. Get away. She's trying to turn away. I'm sorry. Yesterday you didn't say you got hit. I said, and we watched it over and over, he got hit from the side of the car. He did not get hit from head on. If you're getting hit from the side, there's this. So you can get dragged under the wheels. Okay, honestly, did he get dragged under the wheels? Because we're going to have to go off of what happened. Did he get dragged under the wheels? Because was his shooting justified or not? Okay. And I know you guys, your propensity to suck the tit of the ICE agents because they're doing the Lord's work of deporting people. Let's talk about deportations, first of all. What is the actual solution? Is it this? Is this going to get America on board of deportations, or is this going to pit us normies against it? It's going to pit everybody against it, okay? It's not going to help when they start showing, like, you know, drone bombs and all kinds of like propaganda about, you know, just bombing, which they've done. The departments have just put out videos about this kind of shit, and then this kind of stuff happens. This is not going to help, okay? And I want deportations as much as you do, but what you're gonna have to do is actually, quote unquote, starve the population. You're gonna have to cut off funding. That's not going to happen. Sending in ICE agents to Minnesota. Honestly, think about it. What do you want to have done? Are you so hell-bent that you need to have deportations done that this is what you're supporting, and that you're going to just go lockstep and have some lesbian shot in her car for being a stupid fuck? I mean, I don't sweat. I'm not crying over this at night, but I'm also like, it's not doing your side any favors, and that's probably more my issue. I'm stupid bitch. Okay. There we go. And I'm sure you guys are all in favor of this. Perfectly fine. We can keep talking about this. There's a lot of breakdowns of this. And stuff that's in favor of you, which is like this lady.
I came out onto my front porch, and there was a woman who was a protester. She was blocking traffic with her car. She was parked perpendicular.
And I'm fine. Once again, I'm just trying to break out all these different scenarios. You guys are the ones, Hubblesome specifically, you guys are the ones that seem to be lockstep in your position. You can't change. What would ever show you that perhaps this isn't in the best interest, okay? Do you think that this lady actually deserved to be shot? If that's the case, I'm kind of like, okay, well, you know, fuck you, but I'm also like able to watch these things and to see whether, okay, I'm backtracking. She was definitely trying to block traffic, but she wasn't blocking traffic either. If you watch the full videos, there's trucks going one side, the other. But what the fuck is she doing there? Okay.
So the like convoy, there was probably 6 or 7 ICE vehicles. So she had blocked the.
I mean, we that right there, we watched that guy. He was moving. He was moving around the front of her car. Why is he doing that? Why are you putting yourself in harm? I'm sorry to say, this is, and it's literally going to be this way, which is she was about as dumb as you get. She's a woman driver. I don't know that you can give much more explanation than that. She's a lesbian female driver. I'm looking at the other one. She's probably the female in the group too, so she's even worse off. But this cop, this ICE agent, I don't have any sympathy for him either. I don't. What comes his way, it's gonna happen. I'm sorry he pulled his gun and he thought that he needed to fire on this woman. He had walked by her before. He saw no weapons on her. He was fired from the side. Yes, a shot through the front. You're not going to convince me, and I'm sorry, looking at this video, you're just not going to convince me that his life was in danger.
The traffic, so they couldn't get through, and ICE was screaming at her to move, and then they got really aggressive and went over to her driver's side door and tried to open her door, and then she obviously got spooked. And
I didn't even know if she got spooked. See, I'm not even on that as well. Okay, so we already saw his video. I think we're done with that. So let's go to this here. Last thing I'll play on this one here.
He didn't shoot a mob. He shot an unarmed woman who was under 5'5", who did not pose a mortal threat to him. And if she did, tell me how. And he killed her. And so just on the basis of those facts alone, I need to know more.
She was killed, and she shouldn't have been killed. And that thug that killed her, there was no reason to shoot her. At blank range, cold blank range, they shot her.
Do you approve of lethal force against unarmed citizens, particularly a 110-pound woman with no warning?
Do cops get to shoot people without a warning? I don't think they do, actually.
Cops, that officer, bad things should happen to him. He shot her, and she was totally defenseless.
She posed no mortal threat to anybody, not even conceivably.
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face.
And her death is like totally fine because we don't like her politics?
The only one that was killed was a beautiful young lady. She was shot. She had never been shot. She was shot for no reason whatsoever.
There's a woman in this room whose daughter was murdered. No one has cared about the person that shot and killed her, and no one in this Congress has really addressed that issue.
Who was the person that shot an innocent, wonderful, incredible woman right in the head?
A wonderful woman fatally shot.
Okay, so you can get the idea there. They're talking about Ashley Babbitt, and for the most part, I'm on board with them, but the bitch was in the Capitol climbing over a wall. I almost give that guy a little bit more grace on this than this guy. I mean, this, and then this guy, you know, it was a car. It was actually it could be used as a deadly weapon. So I'm just throwing this out there that the hypocrisy is what I'm trying to push against. And I want to play a little bit of this, which is, let's go to some of your chat here, because I think it's important. And I appreciate everybody coming in today. There's zero super chats. There's zero Rumble rants. I don't understand what your guys' problem is, but it's what it is. So we'll deal with it. I remember Tim Walz cops shot at random people with paintball guns for being outside of their property during COVID. Yes. So thank you so much, Patrick, for bringing 9001 for bringing this up, because I think that's an important aspect to remember. It's about logic. Tim Walz is now going out there, and all the Minnesota people, and it's the politics of all this. And we're going to get to the main source of this still tonight, which is Dan Bongino playing a part in this kind of bullshit. Okay, can we be consistent on anything? That is my concern. So yes. Well, Ashley Babbitt is different, is she? Why is she different? She was storming the Capitol. Why? I mean, yes, she wasn't driving a car, but she was going over a wall, a clear glass wall, and a guy shot through it because he was concerned. It's pretty much the same thing. Why is it different? Guy just fired indiscriminately into a crowd? No, he fired at Ashley Babbitt, who was climbing over this glass partition. Obviously nothing close to this situation at all. Obviously, Ashley wasn't driving a 2-ton vehicle. This 2-ton vehicle did not knock this guy down and kill him. Matter of fact, there's video of him walking away, looking like he can just go order another sandwich. I don't understand it. Precariously perched in a broken door window. Okay. You guys go play it yourself. If you think, how is this not similar? Okay. It blows me away, but there you have it. Okay, let's go to Dan Bongino, because what my point on all this tonight is, can you, because Magoo brought this up last time, which is like, look, I can't side with the communists. This lesbian bitch is out there protesting and I hate her and I want these Somalis deported, paraphrasing here. Therefore, I can't agree with what she's doing. Okay, could be. But I hope from the eyes of the law, none of those things come into play for a trial. It's all about intent. Do you know what her intent was? Was her intent to run this guy down? Because that's important. And then what's his intent and what he perceives, okay? And all of this is important. And if you can't get past that, then it's going to be a long process. It's going to be a long time for you. Let's talk about Dan Bongino, because I think this is an important aspect here. Let's move into a different aspect just a little bit. Let's go.
After talking about this all the time, and you saw him right there in the clip saying, don't let up. Don't let up on the Epstein.
It hit him. Okay, so, and then he shot her. What's your point? If it means contact means he gets to pull the trigger, is that what you're telling me? It hit him and he wasn't being run over. He put one in through the front window down the side, and then he puts two into her driver's side window. Only one through the front window. This isn't complicated, people. Why is this so? It hit him. Okay, it hit him, and what happened? He then shot twice more. And you know, Kyle Serafin, we're trained to pull. Are you? He had a phone in his hand. How concerned and how attentive to the situation was he? Why was he in the way? You have to answer these questions. It hit him. Why did it hit him? Why was he there? He was in the middle of the road walking around. He went around this car, 360. Why? Why was that necessary for him? Oh, because he was an immigration officer. Does that mean he gets to walk her down in the road? Oh, but she was in the middle of the road with her car. Yeah, she was in the middle of the fucking 2-ton vehicle. Why are you walking around it? You just walked around the front of it. We had this discussion. You were able to look her in her face. People, the reason I'm saying this is because you're getting over the top. You're getting a little bit over the top triggered about it's got to be this person. She's a lesbian, Tyler. She's a lesbian. She's got to be shot. Calm your fuck down, people. Calm the fuck down. She clearly turned the wheel away and it barely touched him. He also stepped in front. The whole self-defense angle is just childish. I agree. But she was also there blocking traffic and causing problems. And you're going to get deference for the FBI. So I get it, Jose is saying this, but you also have the sides of the Hubbelsons as well, okay? This is why you can watch this video and you can see whatever you want to see. My point on all this, I'm trying to emphasize, and I guess it's not resonating with zero people here, is this isn't an open and shut case. Let's talk about fucking Dave Smith and Dan Bongino now.
We got to keep talking about this. None of this makes sense. What you didn't see there is he even went as far as one time on the Tim Pool show. He said, I have it on good authority that Jeffrey Epstein worked for Middle Eastern intelligence. Could be any of those Middle Eastern countries, of course. But so he said all that. Then he goes in there. He says, I've seen the files. He killed himself. That was approximately 2 months before the official position of the administration was that the files don't exist. So he said he's seen the files and he killed himself. And by the way, as you know, because we followed this whole crazy train, right? You know, the end result of it is that the bill passed. The files are to be released. Great. So now we all get to see it, right? I mean, I understand they just missed a deadline, but of course this administration is that they ran on being the most transparent administration in history, right? So we're going to get all that information. So this will be great. So let's see what Dan Bongino saw. I mean, Dan Bongino, by the way, you're coming back to podcasting now. The files have been declassified. I'm not a lawyer, but Pretty sure you can tell us now. It's not classified information anymore. You can tell us exactly what you saw, exactly how you were able to look the American people in the eye and guarantee and promise that he killed himself. And you know that for a fact. I mean, you must have seen some really strong evidence in order to know that for a fact. What we've seen so far is a fake AI image of Epstein attempting to kill himself in some way in his cell, but it was clearly determined that that wasn't a real video. So what is it that you saw, Dan? I mean, look, dude, if you want to come back into this world, in this world here, as you knew before you went into government, in this world, the currency is honesty. The currency is the truth. So tell us, man. You went into government, looked us all in the eye, and made up a big fat fucking lie that you don't know. And you know it. You know you did that. So now you think you're going to be the one to come back into this, you know, the podcasting game, and you're going to be policing this space, the black pillars? Like, okay.
By the way, I actually think, Dave, that was a scathing reply. And if you watch online, it's okay. If you watch Mark Levin as an example, Mark Levin goes over and he makes arguments and he name calls. He doesn't do anything substantive. He goes, "Oh, you're just a," you know, and he makes up some stupid neo-Nazi. Quartarlson. It makes no sense, and that's what he does. Okay, so he's all about that. It's bravado, and it's a rich boy who's been protected all his life kind of response. Now, if you know Dave Smith, this is my interpretation of Dave Smith, just talking about it and seeing him on Legion of Skanks and seeing Legion of Skanks talk about all this stuff, which is Dave Smith has gone through the turmoil of being a fatherless child, relentlessly probably bullied and gotten in multiple fights in his life. Okay. He's had his neck twisted. He's had his jaw punched multiple times. I'm pretty sure about this. Plus, he's had to go toe to toe as a comedian, probably calling out people in the audience, doing crowd work, getting shit on, and having to go toe to toe. Plus, he's been on Legion of Skanks. If you've watched that, please go watch the back years, okay, the back catalog, getting shit on and having to defend yourself. It's Tower Gang, it's Toad, it's Jose, being able to having to defend yourself and make comedy when people are, every single person is against you. The whole chat here being against me and me being able to take it and push back, okay? I'd go about it. I've got an attorney on the other side. I've got to argue with them all the time. This is the kind of shit that happens. This is Dave Smith. Okay, and I'm putting this out there for a reason, which is some of it is conjecture, and I understand that. I don't know that Dan Bongino has ever had a life like that. One, he's been a New York City police officer. I don't know what that means, but it's on his bio. And then he was Secret Service. People in the Secret Service then said he used his position to grift and write books. He wrote a bunch of books. He did a bunch of stuff like, "This is what I heard." A lot of stuff about Obama, stuff about George W. Bush. This is what I heard. I heard secret stuff going on. He just spills the beans of these kind of things. And then he goes into talk radio, okay? Cumulus Radio. He gets a contract with them. He's going to be the next Rush Limbaugh. He then signs with Rumble. A lot of big bravado, a lot of talk. Look at me. I've had this. I've been able to... I know, I have secrets. I have people placed here. It's a lot of Candace shit, honestly. Okay? A lot of like, trust me, bro, type of stuff. And then he gets picked for the FBI. But we have the internet. And the internet shows a lot of commentary. So while Dave Smith, I swear to God, people are missing this. And am I the only one that's bringing this out? He could be telling the truth now, okay? He could have gone into, I don't think so, but let's say he went into the FBI and he saw it and he goes, "Oh, here's the truth." But you've got to then do something about that, Dan. You've got to then go back and say why you told everybody that there was going to be all this kind of stuff coming out. Let me push for it. Don't ever stop. And we're going to play tons and tons of clips here coming up about his pushing before the things he said before. So what Dave Smith isn't asking, what I'm asking, what I actually kind of thought Bongino might disclose was why he thought that before, but doesn't think it now. He skipped that. He thinks you are too dumb. Matter of fact, he's just called you, and really, it's Israel calling. Do I have a mailbag thing here? Hello, Israel's on the phone. They're leaving a message because that's what it seems like. He mentions here, and we're going to walk through some of the tweets he has, which are just fucking off the hook. But like, Dave, I've watched all your debates. You're a loser. I was like, oh, interesting. All of those debates that you happen to have watched, what do you think the topic was? The topic was Gaza. The topic was Israel. You think that that's all bogus. Interesting that that is what you bring up. Why? Because that is seminal. And everyone's like, oh, you want to be patriotic? You want to be pro-American? You want to be this and that? Oh, Dan Bongino went against his word of pushing for all these things. But what did he know before? That is what we don't know. Dave doesn't ask that. Dave says, hey, when he got into office, he changed his mind. Let's go back, Dave. Let's find out. What was it? What was it that he heard before that he was so confident of? That he, and you know, Dave says one thing there that I disagree with, which is, look, the currency for podcasting is the truth. Is it? That would assume that Dan Bongino was telling the truth all the time before. It would also assume that Mark Levin is telling the truth now. Mark Levin? I don't think so. Okay, so this is a tweet that Dan Bongino just put up yesterday. Your kids, your family and kids must be ecstatic that their last name is Smith, so they can blend in with millions of other Smiths out there and pretend they don't know you. What the fuck is this? This is so deranged. Imagine being dumb enough to post what you just did publicly and then pretend it isn't copium. You're scared. I can smell you from here. Now, go get your shine box, like I told you. What? What? Here's the problem that Dan Bongino, and there's a theory out there that Dan Bongino has been dispatched from the FBI simply to take on Dave Smith. People, no offense, I just laid out the resume of Dave Smith, okay? Which I think is correct. And if you've watched him close enough, look, fine, you can say I'm a Dave Smith fan. Yes. What has Dave Smith done for me? Well, what did he do? He came on my show. I met him in person. What did he do when he was in person? He was super nice to me. He met my wife. He took pictures with me. He made comments to me. He talked to me. He treated me like a person, and he didn't have to. Now, this is before he blew up. So I have something for, and then he came on and did 2 hours with me, okay? And he would DM back and forth with me. He gave me respect, I felt, as a person, okay? That to me is something. So with that in mind, I think Dave is not just someone who's going to be pushed around. And I think I don't think the administration, what do they think? Dan Bongino is going to come out and go toe-to-toe with a comedian who goes toe-to-toe all the time with Jay Oakerson and Luis Gomez. Whatever you think of these people, you should go watch their stuff. Jay Oakerson is a crowd master, okay? Dave Smith is no joke with any of this stuff. If you watched him in person, you can listen to Mark Levin and you can go, oh, Dave Smith, he's just a no fly-by-night comedian. He's not even funny. Go get your facts straight. By the way, Robbie was a little better in person than Dave when I saw him out in Nevada. But either way, you're not just playing with a person that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. So what is this? What is this kind of post here? What is it? What is this doing? This is the kind of person that the administration is going to put up. This is pathetic shit. But it gets worse. This is the real issue that I want to play here, which is Dan Bongino versus Dan Bongino talking about himself back in the day. And this is where I disagree with Dave Smith, which is podcasting currency is honesty. You think this is honest? I want to know, which people aren't asking, I want to know, what did Dan Bongino, what was his source at the time? Okay. Dan Bongino owes it now because of what he said then and then how he's coming out now. He's not reconciled this. He's literally 180 degrees from where he was at this 2023, and he's not explaining it. And he's just acting like, hey, what the fuck? What's your problem? You're black-pilled. We'll get into that in a second. Here, let's go.
That Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out.
You have to remember what he's saying right now because of what he's saying now, and not just what he said in 2025 as the second in command of the FBI, but what he's saying now. He's talking back to Dave Smith. He's talking to everyone. You black-pilled motherfuckers, you da-da-da-da-da. You were going to gatekeep the GOP. But listen to what he says back then.
Deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Listen.
Okay. So with that in mind, you've got to think about, when we talk about, like, let's go back to Charlie Kirk, or even before, back to Bernie Sanders. Remember the supporter with the baseball team going out and shooting the whole Senate there, and Ron Paul and I'm trying to remember the other guy, but they get shot up and Bernie Sanders pointing fingers about horrible things you say. What's her name? That ran with McCain and said there's a target on you, and then his wife Gabby Giffords, I think, gets shot out there in Arizona, and then you have Charlie Kirk gets shot, and it's all the left. It's pointing fingers at ideology. Could be, and then they want to say that it's the right wants to say it's all the left's rhetoric. What about this kind of bullshit? What about this kind of bullshit where he's saying the FBI is involved, the deep state's involved, I know, I've heard about it, and then he goes there and does fucking nothing about it? What are you going to say about that? Let's go back here.
This is Karate Man.
Interesting.
Double leg.
Oh.
The jump kick.
Oh.
The side kick.
Oh.
The roundhouse. The tie kick. Body. This is Karate Man. Double leg. The jump kick. The side kick. The roundhouse. The tie kick.
Okay, so we saw that at least twice. Look, the guy is fucking nuts. And the point about all this is he was second in command of the FBI. So let's go further, because my concern is Dave Smith and his safety, actually. This is something someone screenshotted and wrote. Dan Bongino's tweeting to someone. It was a few years ago, I think. One of your neighbors in Texas reached out and told me you're the creepy guy in the neighborhood and that they keep their kids away from you. Sadly, I'm not kidding. I don't want to disclose your neighborhood, but out of respect for your privacy. But it appears you've got serious issues along with your grave Napoleon complex and being a chump and a pussy. Seek help. Okay, this is your second in command at the FBI. Okay, but he goes on here. This was his tweet coming back. The lib black pillar symbiote is a funny little organism. It's even led by a comedian. Okay, These morons can't even follow their own battle plan. Quick example. I did a guest hit last night on a podcast, and the LBP symbiote starts rage tweeting, "No one is going to watch." when it was the #1 live stream in its slot. The LBL symbiote melted down, again claiming that was us there to attack you. Do these clowns know how this business works? And when you point out on X what a bunch of dipshits they are, they start rage engaging again. They've been dealing like with these fool tools for 15 years, and this is why they always implode. They're just too stupid to coordinate. Today's lesson included. Okay, so
the official position of the administration was that
okay, that's the clip we played, but here is more important.
Dear to your heart.
Cause is dear to my Israel.
Okay, so there's Dan Bongino. Okay, let's keep going here because I want to walk through some of it. Yes, gatekeeping is absolutely going to happen. There isn't a business, sports team, or organization or other that would do otherwise if they wanted to succeed. You don't allow cancers into your clubhouse and then plan to play to win baseball games. You waive them, trade them, or release them. Libs and enemies of our country understand this, and they have found a path to fracture our movement from the inside, but only if we cower from it. I will always relish the year of my life serving you all in this incredible administration. I'm back now, and this mission is equally important. We built this movement. It's ours, and now we're going to take it back. Okay, but who gets to gatekeep in a situation where you're not going to recruit people, you're not going to pay them as employees, you're not going to buy their loyalty in a sense? Anybody can join the GOP, the LNC, the LPR. You can join LPR. By the way, you can join LPR. Let's get this. That's actually an important point to point out. Let's see here. Dan for Israel, Tyler Media, Substack. Where's the Substack? There we go. Okay. Go to tyleryankee.substack.com and you can join our little army. There we go. Appreciate it if you do so. Thank you. Okay, back to Dan Bongino. With that in mind, you can join the DNC, you can join the LNC, Libertarian National Committee, whatever it is. You can join the GOP. You can gatekeep. Now, the problem Dan Bongino has here is he is fine with people from the left coming in. You've got Dave Rubin's, all those types coming in, the just complete Zionists, the lefty Zionists coming in. You're fine with that. You're not going to gatekeep the fuck out of those guys, but you're going to keep someone out. Like, first of all, Dave Smith isn't going to join your party. I'm not going to join your party, but you wouldn't have me because I'm too right wing. Okay. I'm too right for your left wing cause that you call that you're going to be a part of here. I'm too fiscally responsible. We could go down the list. I'm not going to do it tonight. I don't want to out myself necessarily, but that's the point. He wants to gatekeep, but the problem is his gatekeeping allows in pieces of shit. The ones that say, we've been over this before, which is the Dave Rubin types, which come in and they go, I didn't leave the left left me. I'm coming into the right. Let me change the right to be like the left. And then you're like, oh, the interesting part. Yeah, so I can have my disagreements with Hubbleson in here as an example, or Magoo and whatnot over this shooting, but for the most part, we're on board. And I hope you understand that my disagreements with you are just on technicalities and how I see this. We can be fine with that. Once again, I'm not losing any sleep. I think if this guy gets prosecuted, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Rittenhouse, I was concerned because I think that's a problem. This guy, I think, overstepped his bounds. I think this bitch fuck around and find out. It's going to happen. You know, you want me to be concerned about that? Not going to really happen. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's play some more fantastic.
A long time ago.
And the reason for playing this stuff of this old Bongino stuff is to emphasize where he was coming from, and that the fact is he hasn't ever, since he's been out of the FBI, backtracked or explained any of this stuff. And if you think that Dave Smith is, piece of shit, whatever, well, exhibit number 1 for what a real piece of shit is.
I'll say this clearly. I have a friend of mine who called me a long time ago, who was on a plane with Epstein and Clinton, was there and saw some very suspicious, shady stuff. It's his. I don't have any more detail. Said one day he'd get back to me and tell me the full story or give me permission to run with at least the minimal details I have. He hasn't since. So it's not there's nothing I can do. I can't force him into it. It's not my information to give up. I'm not going to talk to you about details I don't have. But he did give me permission to tell you that it was odd, very odd what happened. And it bothered him forever.
So why isn't he coming out saying, like, look, let's talk about this guy that told me details. He obviously was full of shit because there's nothing there. And my source was completely wrong. Everything I told you when I was on radio was completely wrong. So I know I'm back in radio. I know I have now access to the same sources I did then when they were full of shit. And now I've disavowed all of them. I understand all that. But believe me now. Believe me now.
I'm not trying to be cryptic or the story. The guy's credibility is unimpeachable. Believe me. But the exact details I can't give you because I don't have them. He does. One of these days, I'm sure I'll put him out. When he does, we'll be here to give it to you.
When are you going to put those out?
That conversation happened.
Okay, he assures us this conversation happened.
Then just don't watch the shows. It's okay. Like, this is a constitutional republic. You're not obligated to listen to my show. Justin, what was the line on the air with Jim? It's not a freaking airport, man. You don't have to announce your departure. Like, you get these black pillars. The thing about black pillars, where everything sucks all the time, is they're like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not great. So am I. That's not what you're endless.
First of all, let's talk. Look, I want to talk about this. Magoo says disagreeing is a result of having opinions. All good. Well, go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. I love it. Just kidding.
Complaining about things you don't know anything about. Like, that's all you do. Like, he'll shut down the border 10 people across the month. Why wasn't it zero?
By the way, this guy, this motherfucker, this is the problem. And I think Bongino deserves every little piece of shit that gets thrown in his face and then he has to eat, okay, that gets stuck in his fucking throat. Which is, he went online and you were playing the clips. Now these are clips after the fact. We played those clips before where he was riling up his base. He was getting all his money, talking big game, and then he gets in there and there's nothing. So you've got to explain it. This is my point, which is Dave Smith has half of it, but there could be the other half, which is, did he actually get in there and see bullshit and like that he had been full of shit before? Well, then you motherfucker, you better explain it. You better explain why you made this. He made a 180-degree change and he hasn't explained it. Matter of fact, all he's done is just blamed you for it. This is the biggest bullshit ever.
Okay, well, can you just acknowledge going from 1 million to 10 is a big deal? That way.
You're not in charge. Homan is in charge of immigration, you motherfucker. How dumb do you think we are? I'm not black-pilled. I'm just not stupid. I'm not, the chat may disagree. I'm not completely stupid. So you're not going to pull this. This is, and I put it all on Trump. I put it all on Trump, which is, Megyn Kelly goes on with Tucker Carlson today, and or yesterday, whatever. I watched it today, and she talks about how it's these great ideas that Trump has. But the problem is, he's an administrator and he's got these great ideas and he's going to do it this way. But the problem is, in 10 years, you're going to have someone else in charge. And when that other person's in charge, they're going to do things differently. And it could be a problem. It's like, no way, bitch. Really? You just now figured that out. That's why the administration state is not good. You put things in place, you have federalism where the states control everything, and then you don't have to fucking worry about some dictator out there in Washington controlling things. But this dictator or this, king or whatever the fuck he is, a mega man out there, picks Bongino because he has a talk radio. Well, he picked Cash, and then Cash picked him. Well, Cash is out there banging Alexis Wilkins, and he's concerned about her stats on Spotify rather than anything else.
And there's a cost to that. And the cost you see is in, polling numbers around the midterm. You can't let this negative vibe constantly set in. That doesn't mean healthy debates about policy are not welcome. Hey, I'm not a big tariff guy. I've said that 1,000 times. Debating policies are fine. Debating policies are fine. I think a lot of the so-called damage from the tariffs was dramatically over-exaggerated. Even people who don't like them having to acknowledge that now. The economy's motoring, 4% growth.
It's motoring? Are you guys feeling the motor in your pants? You're getting motorboated by the economy?
But the black pill complaining and whining all...
Yeah, motherfucker. This is the problem. It's not even so much complaining. And this is my issues with, the chat thinks I'm over the top, which is Kamala Harris was a piece of shit, worst thing ever. I am expecting stuff. You think, oh, MAGA's a bomb. Okay, well, then let's bomb. Let's not bomb Venezuela, and let's not bomb Iran. Let's fucking nuke the inflation. Let's get shit going. Oh no, we're going to make our military, we're going to put 1.5 trillion into whatever.
About the administration, it's just like, man, what team are you on? Holy Moses, man. So
whatever
you don't
team
have
you're
to
not.
watch. It's okay. There's a door, go find the freaking exits. Cause I don't really give a shit. I'm not here for anybody's money or anything like that. I'm too old for that shit.
He's totally there for your money. If you think it's otherwise, fuck you.
About the administration, it's just like, man, what team are you on?
Okay, we just heard that one. Let's go to the next one.
Where everything sucks all the time is like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not great. So am I. That's you're endlessly complaining about things you don't know anything about. Like that's all you do. Like he'll shut down the border. 10 people.
Look, these are clips are overlapping, so I'm just gonna keep going through them because they're all the same one. What's that one? It's not a clip that we wanted. What do we have there? Okay, we already played that. So what I want to say about Dan Bongino is he's riled up the right. He's set them in place, and now he's seen the inside. He doesn't want to explain it to you, but he just wants to let you know that you're wrong and that you're black-pilled. Very odd. I'll see if I could find the tweet that he just did about Dave Smith, because it's very odd. Gatekeepers, black pills, Okay, whatever. So here's my closing thing about Dan Bongino. I'm concerned for the safety of Dave Smith. Okay, Dan Bongino goes after, starts talking about his kids. It's not funny. You're not getting them. I mean, if anybody's into this and you watch, you're like roast battles as an example, he's not roasting anybody. He's literally Mark Levin. Okay, and Mark Levin is not funny. Mark Levin's not clever. It's like calling names doesn't work. So you got to figure something out there, buddy. But I'm actually concerned for Dave Smith's safety. This guy's talking about his kids. But first of all, talking about anybody's kids is weird. Okay, it reminds me, I think, of a pedo shit. But Dan Bongino went into the FBI, as we saw here earlier. We played clips. He went into the FBI specifically to talk about and to capture and to get someone that was kid diddling. Right? It was Epstein. That was part of his big call, was his talking about kid diddling. Now he's all worked up about Dave Smith's kids. Maybe it's the wrong kids. It's a little bit weird. Not to mention his connections. I think he's still literally working for the FBI and the administration. Him being out of office is nothing, doesn't convince me. I think his real issue is to push for the administration, and that's what he's doing. So I would just say, just a warning out there, Dave Smith and anybody else. I'm like, at some point I need to be blocked by him. So I feel like I'm out of his purview. I keep tweeting at him, and I probably should just stop. I need to stop. I don't know what my own safety is. I need to stop it. I don't think it's safe. I'm going to get audited. I'm going to get, something's going to happen. I just want you to know, we've been watching all these videos of these, these ICE agents pulling guns on people. I mean, I'm concealed carry. It happens. I've got it in my office. I got it here at home. We're strapped. My wife is always concerned because of the work I do, which is family law. And matter of fact, if you look in, like, especially California, and attorneys getting attacked, you're more concerned family law issues than you are like criminal defense. It's just what it is. I'm concerned, but I'm just a warning out there. We are strapped here. So, if you find me and that's your concern, I might be doing a video of myself, much like this guy shooting through someone's front window, and they're like, I guess I'm with you. Stupid lesbian came after me and I had to shoot her down. Could be. But I am concerned about Dave Smith. I know Dave Smith is going after me. We did a whole podcast today about Bongino, but Bongino's, connected. It's literally the mob. Dave Smith, are you worried about having to do an audit? I would say that's coming your way. I hope you got all the receipts. Your travel on the road with Robbie Bernstein. I hope it's okay. You've got your shit together, because that's going to be coming. Dan Bongino's not going to debate you. He's not out there to debate you. And I think the administration fucked up on this. And I think they're going to be more and more in trouble. That's just the way I am. That's my whole thing for there. Okay. It always dumb that the right latch on to that during the campaign. I prefer the term nigger peeled. Okay. Different kind of brown. Mark Levin. Dave isn't country moose's sensation. Right. Sam Hyde is more of a threat to Dave than Bongino. I don't know why Sam Hyde would be a threat to Dave. You don't think Bongino? I mean, first of all, let's talk about that. Why would you say that, Hubbleson? I mean, you don't think Bongino, the way he's flipping out? First of all, it's concerning that this is the person that's second in command at the FBI, that he would, he's crashing out the way he is, or that he was nominated. This is crazy town that he's working through. If Jeremy Hambone from the Cuttering can get blocked by Bongino, surely you can as well. I'm trying. I'm putting all that out there. Like I said last week, I got blocked by Cernovich recently. That's my whole thing. Patrick Shout says, I prefer the... Okay, we did that one. If Jeremy... Okay. Just letting you know, Rumble is going on here strong. All right, everybody. One more thing. Let's go here. But before we have that, let's take a look at one last thing.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel. The defense of Israel.
What is number one?
All right, everybody. Love you all. Dave and Dan organized this behind the scenes. Dave is helping Bongino launch his podcast return. I don't think so. I tend to think, this is my bias. And we're going to cut out here. This is my bias, which is I tend to think, especially with my interaction with Dave and just watching all this stuff, I tend to think he's legit. I am a big Dave fan, and it's going to take a lot for me to kind of like go away from that. That is my own bias, and I think it's just, it's what it is. So it's going to be kind of tough from that, but it's what it is. Just like you guys watch me every week, right? If something comes out, I hope you have my back. Dave was followed by the Egyptian planes before Dan left the FBI. It's all gonna righteous knower. Love you guys. Thank you once again. Well, look, we did a Thursday and we did it, or was it a Thursday? And then we did a Friday show. What the fuck is going on? Next week, I was gonna do Maduro indictments. We got some. There's also a famous sports baller. I hate that term. That bought his fiance a ring, millions of dollars. Got it back. Maybe we'll talk about that as well. Take care, everybody. Hope everyone has a good one. Until next time. See ya.
Okay, I'm leaving now.
But she's back.
And now.
Tyler, if you had any clout about you, if you had any knowledge of the real world,
none of us are screaming, "Let's kill Tyler."
Tyler says, "My
Jewish princess."
You low key, you're one of the funniest dudes like in the like Liberty world that I know.
More or less, eat shit and die.
He's just a podunk lawyer somewhere in like rural California. He's an idiot, really.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
Do you see what he just did to Tyler? I feel like you don't get the appreciation for your humorous wit.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. Why don't you argue with something I said, you dumb bastard?